your seatbelt. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
Chrissie is hilarious.
Chrissie, have you ever heard of the comedian Basha K. Ali?
No, that sounds like something you yell at before you blow up a plane.
Basha K. Ali!
30 seconds remaining.
But you know what, good thing to say, I dabbled in stand-up for something. I haven't been disrespectful to you at all.
I was very confused by the title, Everything Everywhere All at Once, because that's also what we call it when the ass takes off his shirt. I shouldn't be up here. I should be in school on the other side of the ocean. Hello, boys and girls. The baby is asleep. Welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr Podcast. You can listen to this podcast on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Rumble, Rockfin, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Where else? I think I named all the places. Before I bring in our fabulous guest, I got a couple of stand-up gigs to promote. Guys, if you're in the New York City area, you're in luck. I will be performing stand-up at the Cutting Room in New York City. Gosh, I think it's next week already. Look at this. Look at this. It's really coming up. Next Saturday, September 7th. The show is called Cowboys and Comedians at the Cutting Room in New York City. That's on 44 East 32nd Street. 9:30 show. Tickets are available. Go to the Cutting Room website here or my website, chrissiemayr.com. If you're not so much a New York City person, I better see you in Westchester for Kisco Comedy Night in Mount Kisco. It's at the Mount Kisco Lodge in Mount Kisco. That's in Westchester. Saturday, October 5th, 7 o'clock show. Nice early show. If you want to, put the kiddies to bed, I don't know, finger your wife and then come on out or bring her. Bring your wife. Finger her at the show. I won't tell. chrissiemayr.com for tickets, and going to be booking more. I see your requests. I will be booking more out of town shows as the months progress. You know what I mean? I have a little baby here. Okay, I have to. Turns out he's not as independent as I thought he would be at 4.5 months. Oh, but he's so cute. I love him. You know who else I love is tonight's guest. I've had her on before. She and I met at the Turning Point USA get together back in December in Phoenix. So I'm so happy to have her back again here this evening to promote the new book published by Gays Against Groomers. It's called The Gender Trap. Welcome back to the show, Jaimee Michell.
Hi, thanks for having me back. Round of applause, everybody.
Round of applause for the DMV background.
Yes, I know. I was literally, as I'm watching you, I'm like, you have such a vibe going on, and I'm just here I'm in the DMV is where I am right now. I just got my picture taken, and I just moved over a few feet to the left, and now I'm here with you. It's amazing.
Your passport has been completed. Yeah,
Yep.
This has been a process, Jaimee, and thank you for the compliment. I have been working on this new studio here since March because I was like, oh, I'll go on maternity leave and everything will be done when I'm back. And that was March, but everything, it's coming together. I got the walls, I got the furniture, I got a couple more, a light and a camera to buy, and then it's going to be, oh my God, you guys are going to be blown away. But we're not here to talk about me. We're here to talk about this fabulous new book that Jaimee was nice enough to send me. Matching.
We're matching.
And I can't help but notice the cover is beautiful. It has the trans colors.
It does. That is not unintentional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we have a little tomboy-looking girl. I designed the cover, actually. For those that don't know, I'm a graphic designer as well, by trade.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Thank you. I design everything for Gays Against Groomers. The logo, anything you ever see, the merch, it's all me. Not to plug myself. I'm just saying,
no, plug yourself. This is impressive.
I am proud of the cover. It is really beautiful. And yeah, you have like a little tomboy looking girl. Oop, there's a big ring light there. But
outed.
yeah, at the DMV, they have ring lights. Crazy here. They have everything. No, but we put a little tomboy looking girl stuck in a cage, and on the padlock, small detail is the trans symbol.
Oh, wow.
The trans colors, and it's exactly what's happening. These children, it's called the gender trap, because this ideology is constraining them into these regressive stereotypes of what it means to be a boy or a girl. And telling them that they must be born in the wrong body if they veer off that track in any way. It's very scary. And all of us in Gays Against Groomers take this so personally, because I speak for myself and probably 90% of the members, we grew up and still are gender nonconforming. I don't even like necessarily using that term, but I mean, just to summarize it, women that are a little bit more masculine, or men that are a little more feminine, and that's how we grew up as boys and girls. And many of us are still that way. I'm a lifelong tomboy, and I shudder to think, like, if I was born a few decades later, what I would have fallen.
You would have a non-functioning penis right now. And we wouldn't
Correct.
even be
Yeah.
talking. No, I'm kidding. Probably not. But
God forbid. I mean, but like, if my parents, this is happening to kids at such a young age. I mean, there's books for preschoolers about the hips on the drag queen go swish, swish, swish. That's a bit of a
I've heard of that. Yeah.
But it's just from the moment they like have any form of consciousness, shoving this down into their tiny, formidable brains, and it's very scary. So this book, we were blessed to have an author, a very esteemed author. Her name is Carla Curtis. She reached out with this idea to write it, and wanted and felt like we would be a great publisher. We didn't have a publishing arm of Gays Against Groomers, so we created one just for this book. And it's the first one that we have put out, and but not the last. So it's a very good read. I really recommend people get it. And you can see on the screen here, it's for you. If any of these things apply to you, I guess I should read it, because people listen to this as well, huh? Not just
Some people do. Some people put it on and then do other things, or some people watch it on mute.
Right, totally.
I'm just
Well,
kidding.
basically, it's for parents who, may have a child. They're raising a child right now, and they're worried about this ideology infecting their children's brains. If you are somebody who is trying to understand how this came to be so quickly, it feels like almost overnight. But when you look at it as a whole, it was a slow burn, and there, to lead us up to this point where it has consumed and dominated every aspect of life. For people that feel abandoned by an ideology that lies to you and tells you that, your own eyes and everything to be true is not true anymore, by the same people that tell you to trust the science. And if you've ever felt ostracized for pointing out this truth, or if you just want to understand what's going on, and part of our fight, well, really the nucleus of our fight, I mean, why we are doing this and how we're doing it and everything else, the Gender Trap is a really, really great read. And I am biased, but even if I wasn't part of Gays Against Groomers, like I would want this book in my collection immediately. So people can check it out at thegendertrap.com and just learn more and get activated, because the truth is that all of this will stop as soon as enough people speak out against it. And people are scared to speak out against it because they think that they're going to be labeled homophobic or transphobic or something, or their friends will get upset with them, their family. But you have to be courageous enough to not let that get in the way, because these are literal children. Like, this is the future. A whole generation of children are on the line here, and those after that, if we do not end this war on children, but we will win it, and we are winning it. But we have a long way to go, but I remain hopeful that we will end this nightmare soon.
You and I are pretty outspoken about these issues and not afraid to say what's on our mind. But what do you suggest for people? And we're, I don't know, probably the minority. I would say your average person like wants to keep their job, doesn't want to rustle any feathers. I mean, it depends what line of work you're in. Like, if you're just a sort of like office person, you don't maybe need to be outspoken. But if you work in a school or work with children or like, um, it's I guess what I'm trying to say is how does the average person begin to speak out without right, you don't want to lose your job but we need to start somewhere
Yeah.
really and I guess people have begun speaking out about it, but it's still kind of a scary thing because everyone it's we all tiptoe around it.
I know. And, the Marxists and the gender ideologues and the child mutilation advocates that they're betting on all of us staying quiet. They use this tactic of labeling people that do speak out against it, even though they're just wanting to protect children, labeling them homophobic and transphobic to silence them. And so when we came along, it was like they have been trying to figure out how to handle us since we started 2 years ago. They still don't know how. I mean, they call us anti-LGBT. Like our Wikipedia page says we're an anti-LGBT organization, and there literally isn't a single straight person in our organization. So, I mean, that just goes to show you. But I mean, my advice would be start small, dip your toe in the water. I feel like so many people are holding back how they actually feel. That the truth is more people than you think actually feel the same way as you and are dying for somebody else around them to say it first. But I totally feel for people that have to be careful because of their jobs. I'm in a situation where, I mean, I couldn't get a regular job right now. I work as a graphic designer full time still, actually. People don't necessarily know that. Like, I don't take any money from Gays Against Groomers. I still work full time, but I work for a company that like aligns with that, that is aligned with my values and everything. So I'm lucky in that way. But I understand people having to be very careful. But yeah, I would just say get the courage and try saying something, maybe not at work, maybe to a friend that you aren't sure about. Be like, hey, what do you think about these kids being put on puberty blockers? Like, do you know what that actually means or what that does? Like,
Yeah.
say they're reversible, but did you know that this and this and this is a side effect? Like, I don't feel very good about that. Just dip your toe in the water. And I think people would be surprised to find that more people will agree with them and than not.
Mhm. And I think if anyone's listening and you have a child in your life, that's going through some confusion, like, absolutely read up on this and, like, know your shit inside and out, know your facts, know what these drugs do to these developing children's brains and bodies and souls so you can be informed, when you finally do kind of get the nerve. And a lot of folks, when it is happening to their kid, they they're like, "Well, who cares?" Being polite kind of goes out the window because, you have that kind of mama bear, daddy bear instinct that just kind of rises up. And it's a scary thing. We've seen parents lose their children to this, depending on where they live, or if it's like Canada, or even at one point, I think California might still be a like a safe haven for trans kids. Like there's probably states where you can transition and they don't have to tell your parents,
Yeah,
incredibly enough, but
that's actually real. That's actually real. California, Washington, and actually Tim Walz made Minnesota a
oh,
trans refuge for children to come get sterilized and mutilated if their state no longer allows it.
Tim Walz, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but doesn't his view of sexuality also include child enthusiasts?
does
That's
it?
that's what I've heard. Yeah,
I wouldn't
maps
be
and
surprised.
such.
Like, every time we think we reach a new low, like somehow another one is formed. It's really crazy. The
He's
slope,
so
I always
liberal.
no, yeah, he's a scary guy. He's actually like, I mean, Gavin. People think of Gavin Newsom as like the poster child for like shitholes, but
Mhm.
you see what's happening in Minnesota. It's just not as big. Like there's not that as much going on there. Like there's no Hollywood. There's no million
Yeah,
dollar
you would
multi.
not think
Yeah,
Minnesota. You wouldn't think there's a bunch of, gender confused kids in Minnesota of all
right.
places.
But
Isn't it
it's
mostly, immigrants too? Isn't it mostly, like, Somalians?
they just changed their state flag to resemble the Somali flag
Oh
because
God.
so many of them moved there. I'm serious that actually happened. I mean, they
Wow.
don't say that, but it looks quite like it. So
Wow. I'm just reading through this one part. These are potential side effects from basically like, these drugs: decrease life expectancy, increased risk of permanent death, premature death from heart attacks, bone damage, liver damage, mental health complications, mood syndrome symptoms, higher suicide rate. And from everything I've read, it doesn't it's a big lie that putting your child through this is going to keep them from ending their life. No, the studies
no,
show that it's actually higher rates of suicide after transition.
right. It is a big lie. And, like, I'm sure you and your listeners and audience is aware of who Chloe Cole is, the detransitioner. She's a very
I've heard
outspoken.
of her. Mhm.
Yeah. So she thought she was a boy growing up. And she actually had a double mastectomy at 15, I believe 15 or 16, because her doctor said to her parents, the biggest lie of all, which is, would you rather have a dead daughter or a living son? Excuse me, meaning essentially that if they didn't transition her to a boy, she was going to kill herself. But the truth is that the suicidality does not decrease; it actually increases after these procedures and surgeries and all that. So, but it's horrible. And Chloe Cole is just one of a tidal wave of new detransitioners that keep popping up every day, more and more of them that were transitioned as children. I mean, I don't know about you, but the thought of having to be stuck for life with a decision that I made. I mean, some of these kids get on puberty blockers at 10, 11 years old, they're before
Wow.
and they're not reversible whatsoever. You read off some of the complications and side effects, but the thought of having to be stuck with something that I thought I wanted when I was 10, 11, 12, even like honestly, even 18, Gays Against Groomers, our position is that when you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. Me personally, I feel like 18 is still incredibly young, but you're a legal adult in this country, right? Like you can go serve. So you should be able
Oh
to
yeah. I
the
was still dating horrible men at 26.
girl.
So we all
Yeah. I made some poor decisions in my mid 20s that I wish I didn't. And, and I thought at the time I really, really wanted that. So I don't think there's ever a point where you can have it all figured out truly. I mean, maybe well into your 30s or 40s, but the thought that anybody can advocate for children being able to make a permanent decision that will affect their, it's not just some little decision. I mean, this is removing body parts. This is
it's
sterilizing
the
them.
whole brain growth. It's you really do. Your body is just one machine. Everything works together, and it's God's design for a reason, and we've lived this long
Exactly.
because
Up until
everything works together.
exactly. You can't play God. I mean, you can try, and I understand some people, gender dysphoria is a real thing. Adults that have gender dysphoria and choose to transition, for the most part, like, there's like the Buck Angel and the Blair Whites, the trans people that understand biological reality, and they would never say, oh, I'm actually a real woman. Like I'm a female. Blair would never say
Mhm.
that. And Buck would never say I'm a man. Like I'm an actual male, biological male. Like they understand that, even they pass incredibly well. Like if they weren't popular on the internet, people who don't know them see them. And I doubt they ever think they're the
Mhm.
actual opposite sex. But, it doesn't change the fact that they will never be the opposite sex. And they know that, you can't, you just can't change that. It's what it is. And it's always been that way. And it always will be that way. So, and beyond just sterilizing and mutilating these kids, like telling them the lie that like you can change who you are, like you can change your gender. It's just, people that lie to kids are not good people. People that lie to anyone are not good people in my book, in my opinion. And,
Yeah.
just telling these lies to children and confusing them and bombarding them and introducing them to concepts that they literally cannot comprehend. I mean, it's hard. I'm gay and I cannot keep up with all the new pronouns and flags. Like, imagine a child trying to do that. It's just beyond me, like, how they can think that they're the good guys in this scenario, you know?
Well, a lot of
It's
people are saying that the trans movement agenda, the whole thing is actually anti-gay because someone that like let's take a girl who is basically like a straight girl, or maybe like there are a lot of instances where I think children are convinced, right, if they are tomboy or if it is a kind of like an effeminate boy or girl, like really it's like you're kind of encouraged to transition rather than just be gay. So the argument is that the trans agenda is kind of anti-gay because
oh,
you're not
100%.
accepting who you are and you know, you're kind of who you're attracted to. It's kind of like you're changing your body to make
Yeah.
this like a heterosexual situation.
I mean, it is the most homophobic movement that exists, really. I mean, to tell boys, men, or boys and girls is what Gays Against Groomers focuses on. But really, to tell anyone that doesn't, that a guy that doesn't present super masculine or a girl that doesn't present super feminine, that they would be better off, or that they're actually meant to be the other gender, the other sex, is wild. I mean, the people the people that most affects that ideology and all of that are gay people. Autistic children are very heavily targeted as well, but in general, I mean, the victims of that are gay people. And so yeah, it's really crazy. It's homophobic in that way. It's anti-gay in that way, and also what's happening with these dating apps. I don't know if you saw that Tickle v Giggle case. I think it came out of Australia. I don't know if you heard.
What?
Yeah, it's
Tickle
actually
me.
called Tickle v Giggle. Yeah. So
Looking it
there
up.
was, yeah, look it up on X. It's crazy. It's crazy. So basically,
Is this a new Tickle Me Elmo? No, it is not. Okay,
it's
here we
not.
go.
No, it's not. But there's this app called Giggle, and it's a women's only app, right? And a trans woman who looks incredibly like a man, like did not
Oh
put any
gosh.
effort into the transition. Um, yeah, it didn't. You got to bring this up.
Okay, so
No,
transgender woman
literally
Rox
Tickle me Giggle. It's crazy. It's
Roxanne
so
Tickle wins discrimination case after being banned by women only app. Tickle successfully sued social media platform Giggle for girls with judge stating it's on its ordinary meaning sex is changeable. And this is what this person looks like, an abomination, just gross.
Tickle,
Obviously, it just dude with long hair, not much effort here. A
literally.
trans woman who sued a woman-only social media app for alleged gender discrimination has been awarded $10,000 plus costs after a judge found she had been indirectly discriminated against in a landmark decision that tested the meaning and scope of the Sex Discrimination Act. Just taking advantage. Roxanne Tickle, a trans woman from New South Wales, sued Giggle for Girls and its CEO Sal Grover, claiming she was unlawfully barred from using the. So this is a man with autogynephilia, literally just getting their rocks off, pretending to be a woman, and excited to game the system and get $10,000 out of this. And
Yep.
meanwhile, oh, they want to pose as a woman for access to a female only space.
I
It's
mean, so
disgusting.
basically it's like, yeah, so this is super anti-gay, it's anti-woman, it's anti-lesbians, like I thank God every day, and I talk about it all the time. I actually just got married yesterday was 1 month
I
since I
saw, congrats. You
you.
look so beautiful. Oh my gosh, you both
They,
did.
my wife really, really stole the show there.
Oh.
But we just got married. But I thank God every day that I found her before men started taking over women's apps. Like, because now it's funny, she downloaded Tinder just to see what it was like. Like a year ago, she downloaded it just to swipe through and see what it was like. And literally every other one, sometimes multiple in a row, were literal men that, I mean, they were.
Wow.
And so it's like our spaces are being erased, our rights are being wiped out, like, women's only spaces and sports. And it's
I
crazy.
never thought about the dating app
Oh, girl,
aspect of things and that
so
these
I feel so
Not
bad for.
only Tinder, but yeah, like lesbian
No,
app store are being inundated with these dudes,
you're
and
not
it's
even
just like
safe on a
it's gonna
lesbian
be
app.
it's harder to find people, harder to
The
date.
lesbian bars. There's like 8 lesbian bars left in America. It's like an epidemic. But like, and they're all
Wow.
filled with men. So actually, so I don't know if you could bring it up on your show, but to show your audience, my wife made a reel showing this. Like it's actually crazy.
Ooh. Is this
Her
on
it's on
her
here.
Twitter?
Yeah, it's on Instagram. It's I don't know if you can pull up Instagram, but it's really funny and it will show you it's jarring. And this is just in Milwaukee. Like imagine a place like LA. It's basedbabe.usa is her handle. I think it's pinned on
Okay.
her profile.
Shoot, can I not open up
I'm
Instagram? I
so
don't
sorry.
know why. I know that's her Twitter handle. Let me see. Base
Oh,
Babe
maybe it's no, maybe
USA.
it's underscore. Wait, base babe. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, it's not on her Twitter at all?
No, maybe not. Wait. No, I don't think so. Never mind. It's okay. But it's just really funny. If people want to go to basebabe.usa, I think she pinned it on her Instagram. But
Okay.
anyway,
I'm being a
sidetrack.
boomer and I can't pull it up right now. I did have this though, which a lot of men are sharing because the male perspective on this is, oh, what a waste of like a beautiful girl. But this has been going pretty viral,
Oh yeah,
this little video. And I think it
I
really
saw
rings true. Because this, like you've been saying, this has been going on long enough that we're now seeing it's sort of passed through, the millennial generation of parents to now these younger kids, like I guess Gen Alphas, the kids that are like basically what 9 through beginning their teenage years, and we're now starting to see the effects of it, like these kids that are actually going through the process of transitioning, and this is a really stark example of like this beautiful 19-year-old girl.
that. Mhm.
And of course, she's, like, proud of herself, right? If she's making this
No,
real, you know?
she loves it. But I think deep down she's probably in a lot of pain. But trying to
And
get
she
through her.
goes she goes from just, oh, like, 19, like, better looking than I was at 19, like, she coulda stopped right there and been a winner, but no, and then it shows 21 years old, just she gets a really short haircut, and even this is like, "Okay, cool, we all have a short hair phase." And then at 22, double mastectomy, and she's got this, like, chest binder on, and it's like, ugh, it's just so sad because
It's
you just
awful.
you see a person losing themselves.
Yeah. And it's crazy
And
because, I mean, she wasn't even super masculine, like before. I mean, maybe she felt it inside more than she showed, but still, the crazy thing about this is like you really don't have to go through all this. The truth is, there is no wrong way to be a boy or a girl or a man or a woman. That's why I
right.
always gender ideology is so like, it's bringing us back to you know I don't know, the 50s, 40s, whatever, when the you had to fit very squarely in this idea of what it meant to be a man or a woman, but there is no one way to do that. So you don't it's really sad to see these girls just cut their chest, their breasts off to try and become something they can never be. So, but
And, like, yeah, she's with, like, this older dude in a dress. It's like, yikes.
is this freedom? Is this liberation? It does
Were
not look
you
like.
groomed? It's this person looks like twice her age.
I
I
mean,
don't
maybe 3 times. Yeah, it's pretty creepy.
Very creepy, very sad. And this is all being documented so heavily on social media, and
I know.
it's crazy to see. It almost seems like, I don't know, like you shouldn't be seeing it.
I know.
Like it's
Yeah. It's pretty messed up stuff, and it's just scary to think of, like, I mean, there's a large wave of people that are being affected by this now, kids and stuff, and to think of the numbers and what we're going to see in like 5-10 years if we don't get this banned nationwide. Adults, whatever, do what you want, but It's a monstrosity. Oh, there you go.
So this is your wife's Instagram. Oh, when you're a lesbian looking for love on Tinder in 2023.
Yeah, girl.
Ryan, see her. Oh God, no. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh,
All
delete
men.
Tinder.
Yeah,
That's
all
funny.
men. And some of them don't even try. That's the thing, but
A lot of them aren't
so I
trying.
feel very bad for my single lesbians out there. I feel for them because it's not easy. It's already hard enough to find somebody, especially like imagine you're on the right, like I'm a right-wing lesbian. It was already impossible, nearly impossible. Like a fluke happened and I met
Yeah.
Sasha. But like yeah, it's rough out there. People don't realize just how bad it is.
No, I just feel and it's a lot of them it's kind of going to be too late, I think, but hopefully really it's like it's you can't see like expect kids to be like, "Oh, look at all these people who've gone through this and they're not for the it's up to the parents to really like you got to really but you can't just but you know what it is since mostly what autistic girls are kind of the most vulnerable for this. And you think about the average parent who's like very conscientious, like let's say they are very much into like getting all the resources their autistic child needs, like they're on point, they want to do, right by them. I think there's also, the parent that kind of does too much. Oh, they need to be trans. That'll make them,
Mhm.
the best version of themselves. Let me get on that. And I think the powers that be, the pharmaceutical companies, big pharma, they are taking advantage of these parents as well. Like the certain type of parent,
Oh, sure.
almost not that they're type A or overparenting or something, but there's a type of I don't know. I hate to say like they're all white liberals, but it
I
seems
mean,
to be a lot of them.
the stereotype exists for a reason. It's sad. Like you you go into like so my wife is Puerto Rican and like she knows a lot of people. I don't want to say people of color. That's such a cringe term, but like, these are not issues that affect communities of color. They do not
No.
care about this at
Why is
all.
that? Yeah,
They
they
don't
seem to
care.
really put their foot down when it comes to
Yeah,
this stuff.
they are not having it whatsoever, and it's like literally it's really a majority liberal, progressive, woke, white mom issue, and some dads as well, but it's wild. It's a phenomenon for sure. But I think, I harp a lot on parents, but I truly think most of them just want what's best for their kids. And I don't blame them. I blame the medical institutions, the doctors, the psychiatrists, the therapists, organizations that they trust, like WPATH, which is the World Professional. No, what is it? I forget
I'm
what it
looking it up.
stands
I know.
for.
It's
WPATH,
the
but,
World Professional Association for
yeah,
Transgender Health.
exactly. Things like this that are lying to them and telling them that this is safe, that it will not cure, but like, I mean, yeah, it will cure their gender dysphoria. It will make them happy and live their life how they're meant to live it, and that's a lie. It's just a lie. And so many of these parents, like Chloe Cole's parents, they just wanted to do what was best for their daughter, which they were led to believe was to let her transition. But sadly, obviously, that doesn't get rid of the issue. And now, a few years later, Chloe doesn't want to be a boy anymore. She doesn't want to be a man. She wants to be a woman. And I think she's 19 or 20 now. She'll never get her breasts back. Those were taken from her and incinerated. She'll never get that back. And, a lot of these kids that go on these puberty blockers and cross-sex hormones, their fertility, excuse me, is completely destroyed. Their chances of having
Mhm.
children diminishes greatly or goes to zero completely. It's just, the fact that these people aren't being tossed in jail astounds me. The fact that people think this is okay, like that this is even a fight that we have to have with people is crazy. The fact that Gays Against Groomers has to exist is crazy. It's all crazy. You know, none of this should be happening. I feel like I'm gonna wake up one of these days and like it'll be a big joke or it was a crazy dream, but it's really, really wild stuff out there.
Yeah. It's not easy, and it probably feels really heavy a lot of the time, like, you have a lot of responsibility, like, the sense of, duty, like, if you guys don't do this, who will? And, I think it's incredibly meaningful work. Thank you, Rhinoceros. My god, so generous. You are getting a sound effect for this. Oh my goodness. This conversation needs to be held. Like I said last night, support free speech. Thank you so much, Rhinoceros. Wraith, thank you. The safety and innocence of children should always be protected. We need to fight for it until they stop. Even Elon's kids succumbed to their agenda. Oh gosh,
Yes,
right.
that's Elon, that's so crazy. He left that comment. He admitted that, like, what happened to his son. He admitted that he replied to one of our posts, one of Gays Against Groomers posts, and it like made
Really?
because that was the first time he said that he bought and he was fooled by the doctors and he signed off on the puberty blockers.
Oh, wow. Right. It says Musk says a strange child's gender affirming care sparked fight against woke mind virus. This was just back in July. I wonder if they're going to mention you. He says Musk's daughter was killed by the woke mind virus after he was tricked into agreeing to gender affirming care procedure. In an interview with psychologist and conservative commentator Jordan Peterson, uh, the ex-owner called gender reassignment surgery, child mutilation, and sterilization. He discussed his then 20-year-old child, Vivian Jenna Wilson, who underwent the procedures during the pandemic. Wow. I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Musk told Peterson in the Daily Wire interview, to which he referred to his child by their dead name. This was really before I had any understanding of what was going on. COVID, there was a lot of confusion, and I was told same thing, that his child might commit suicide. Wow. And I mean, if this can happen to Elon Musk.
I know. Here, I'm gonna send you the Elon tweet where he replied to us. He went more.
Okay.
I just put it in our chat.
Yeah, he said, I was tricked into doing this. I lost my son, essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason. The reason they call it dead naming is because your son is dead. Ugh. That's so sad, and he's such a stoic guy to begin with, but, I saw that clip of him
Yeah,
talking
I mean,
about it, and it just
if Elon Musk can be fooled by this, I mean, nobody is immune to it. So,
oh, I'm
because
gonna pull this
parents
up.
care deeply about their children, they want to do what's best for their children, and this is really the most evil kind of stuff that we're battling here, for an industry and doctors to take advantage of that. And it's all for profit, it's a multi-billion-dollar a year industry now, transing children. So yeah, this is the clip, and then he responded to it.
Oh, wow.
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This is before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if he.
That was a lie right from the outset.
Whoa.
Incredibly evil, and I agree with you that people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
That's
So
a
I was
personal
tricked into doing this, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs.
Wow.
Anyway.
Wow.
And so
you never see Elon really at a loss for words. He's always like very measured, very collected,
I mean, you could tell this is deeply painful for him,
Yeah.
because he had a role in it, but his intentions were good. He didn't know, he didn't have the information, and they're trying to suppress this information to keep doing it. But parents, they need to be made aware, and it's just horrible.
So They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right. So the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So.
Oh man. For as
Um,
smart as he
yeah, and there's
is,
lots
you
of
know,
people in
and they probably made him feel like, well, if you're smart and you're up on all the latest stuff, you got to be down with this, you know.
I mean, and this
You're
is
a cool parent, you
this
know.
is why he's so passionate and outspoken. I mean, he was personally affected by it. And his son is now, thinks that he's a girl and a woman and lives that way, but
Yeah, you can tell this is a good comment from Erica. He had to breathe through it. He blames himself. It's so sad.
definitely.
Ugh.
It's awful. And I feel like so many parents that have done this, realize way too late what they actually did. They think they're being compassionate and doing the right thing. And in turn, they're hurting the person that they love the most and would do anything to, would die for. They're hurting them. And in some cases, it's honestly, it's deadly. I don't know. I sent you a story.
That situation.
Let me see what else if he says on
it's
this
not
clip.
pretty. And lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
Wow. Oh, look at him.
And we're making some progress.
Join the club.
Yeah.
Wow, he's seething.
Yeah.
Understandably so. Okay, let me pull this
Hard to watch. It's hard to watch him like that.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is what you said. His response when he was describing Xavier, his son. Xavier was born gay and slightly autistic, two attributes that contribute to gender dysphoria. I knew that from when he was about 4 years old, and he would pick out clothes for me to wear, like a jacket, and tell me it was fabulous, as well as his love of musicals and theater, but he was not a girl. No, he probably was just a theater kid, honestly.
I know. A gay, had he not transitioned, obviously he'd be a gay man right now.
Yeah.
So this is where
work on Broadway.
This is where the anti-gay sentiment comes in. I mean, the whole of the trans ideology and movement. I mean, it's literally eradicating gay people, It's wild, and everybody just stands by and applauds. So
yep. And look, Gays Against Groomers response, gender nonconforming kids are not trans. We as a society must demand that they be able to grow up naturally and figure out who they are on their own without taking drugs or having surgeries performed on them that will have lifelong ramifications. So heartbreaking and evil. It's hard to believe this is even something we have to fight for at all. That must have been exciting to see not only Elon responding to your tweet, but getting so personal.
I mean, we were blown away by it 100%. He's interacted with our account a few times. He doesn't follow us yet. I'm dying for him. Elon, I know this is streaming on X. If you hear this, follow Gays Against Groomers. We support you. We would love to, fight this with you. We are fighting it with you, but we're not at the follow yet, but he's interacting with us, and it's important. Like, we're not fangirling over him, but he is the most prominent, powerful, wealthiest man in the world, and he is doing, he's really bringing real change to this topic and exposure. So it's, we love to see when he's interacting with us, and anytime, even not just speaking about it, because he more than anyone can bring attention to it. And like I said, awareness is really our biggest obstacle. That's the biggest obstacle in this fight entirely, is just making, as soon as people actually know the truth about what's going on, they are really instantly, I mean, I've seen it happen in real life, instantly against it and want to fight back against it. Even liberal people, I've had that experience numerous times. Like, I speak to somebody, show them a statistic or something, or they're like, I had no idea that's what that meant. So many people they've never even heard the term gender affirming care. They're not like tapped in like us, they're just living their lives trying to put groceries on the table. So They don't understand. And the people in charge of this agenda are betting that they stay ignorant and don't want to know.
And it's interesting that I keep saying his name wrong, but it's interesting that he mentions that this all happened to him during the pandemic, because that's the first time that so many of us started to question the entire medical industry, big pharma. We that's the first time a lot of us just stopped just taking our doctor's word for it. They suggest something, a certain jab, and you go, "No, thank you." Or maybe you have to find a new doctor. And a lot of people were not doing that
Yeah,
before the pandemic.
I know. Crazy. But I want to bring up the book again, because everything we're speaking about is gone over in detail, like super detail. It's a very good read. And I wanted to mention, I didn't mention before, we've had some big name reviewers. Tucker Carlson actually reviewed our book, and his little endorsement of it
Oh,
on the
yes.
back.
Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up here.
Oh yeah, if you bring up the site, you can see all that. It's really, I mean, it's powerful stuff, and I would love.
Oh, yeah.
We're actually not making money from the book. We just want people to have this information.
Tucker says there aren't many groups braver than Gays Against Groomers. The rest of us ought to be grateful for what they've done and for this book. Tiffany Justice says Gender Trap brilliantly lays out this case as to why transitioning children is the greatest medical abuse scandal we have ever seen in our country. And of course, James Lindsay. We love James Lindsay. It's about time this book got written. A radical, destructive movement that targets our children and our society has taken over, and it has done so by hiding behind the good names of gays and lesbians around the world. This book is a clear explanation and a much needed antidote to this wicked movement in our society. You guys also were reviewed by Aaron Friday. Billboard Chris. He says the Gender Trap beautifully lays out everything you need to know to protect your kids from the greatest child abuse scandal in modern history. Rob Schneider reviewed the book, saying Gays Against Groomers methodically. I might be tired today.
Methodically.
Methodically.
I got
Methodically breaks down the myths and cuts through the lies of medicine's biggest malpractice and crime since lobotomies. Exactly.
Yeah.
We've seen the comparison a lot. And Andy this book helps readers demystify gender ideology and its pervasive institutional capture of all aspects of American life.
It's really good stuff. I don't like to, harp on stuff and like self promote. I really don't, but this is like the biggest project we've ever done, and it's so worth reading. It really is.
How did you guys create your own publishing
for
this?
Yeah, I mean, we just decided to do it and basically did it. It's part of the nonprofit, part of the educational aspect of it. So yeah.
Wow, you're like Elle Woods in Legally Blonde. What? Like it's hard?
I mean, we just kind of wing it and just take it a day at a time, whatever we want to do. We actually have a movie coming out this fall. We have a documentary coming out that
Ooh.
it is about one of our directors in our organization, Matt Ray. It's called Leaving Amy. He is a trans man, so he was born female, and it goes through his whole journey of transitioning and the extreme medical complications that followed that he is still dealing with to this day. And he transitioned as an adult, and he's still dealing with this. His health is totally deteriorating, and yeah, that's coming out this fall, so we're excited about that. So yeah, we're trying to do all kinds of stuff. We have a podcast now. New episodes are out every week. We have a whole news site called Radar where we write our team. We have a big team of writers. They write articles about just store op-eds and news, and we post studies, all kinds of stuff. So we're a very expansive operation at this point, which is cool.
Amazing. Valiant Renegade, thank you so much for the pink boy. Valiant Renegade, 45-year-old married father of 3, 2 teenage daughters. Oldest is in college, second in high school. Youngest is a 13-year-old boy. 2024 is terrifying as a parent. It takes constant vigilance to shield kids from society's effort to destroy them. Yes, it
Amen to
does.
that. It's scary. It's a scary time. I mean, Chrissy, I hope by the time your little peanut there is entering school. I don't know what you plan to do, homeschool, whatever, the way things are going, but hopefully things are under control by then, and this entire
Well,
all
yeah,
this
I don't.
ended.
It's crazy because it was even getting a pediatrician from him was really challenging because pediatricians will turn you away if you're not getting the
Right.
jabs.
Yeah.
And it correlates to like the New York City school like jab program. And we didn't give him any, and we're not going to give him any. So like
Yeah. Good
we'll
for
see where
you.
he is. We'll see what state we're in, what we're living in when he's like of school age. But if we're still in New York, then I'm gonna homeschool him because
Yeah, you're gonna have to, huh?
we're
That's what
just
they
not gonna
do.
do that. Yeah. And thank God we found a pediatrician. Like we have a mutual understanding, like uh that we're not doing that. Like he'll bring them up, like each visit, he'll be like, all right, this would be the time that he would get this, this, and this. And we'd be like, we're not interested. He'd be like, all right. And then he moves on. And we're like, okay, cool. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, that's nice. At least he
Yeah.
respects that. I
Yeah.
imagine it's like a needle in a haystack out there. I'm surprised
There's
he
literally, I'm in New York. There's literally two
Okay. Well,
pediatricians that are like this. And
I'm glad you were able to find him.
Simon Ho, thanks for the super chat. At 18, my best friend in art college kept taking me to these all gay interest movies. And after a couple of years, I realized he was trying to groom me. Oh, no. Wow. What's a gay interest movie?
I'm
The
actually not
Notebook? The Notebook. He took me to see The Notebook. He's
Oh my
grooming me. Wow. I mean, I'm sorry that happened to you, Simon, but you seem like you got out of it.
Oh my
Sasha S, thank you for the super chat. And Simon again, sex.
my wife. Sasha.
Oh, Sasha, thank you, Sasha. You look
Doing
gorgeous
that,
in your
Sasha.
dress. From Simon again, sex change operation was originally to correct homosexuality. Iran has the second highest rate of sex change operations because being gay is the death penalty. Oh,
I was actually
wow.
going to bring that up earlier in our talk, how it's anti-gay. The trans movement, the people, gay men in the Middle East, and probably even gay women too, they transition like crazy because you can't be gay there. The LGBTQIA plus mafia here doesn't seem to like to talk about that, but you literally can't
Wow.
be gay there. They'll kill you. So they transition.
Whoa. That's crazy. I just can't. But it just seems like we've been talking about this for so many years, but there are very powerful forces at work here.
Well, I want to say that we are making really good progress. While there are some states like, California and Tim Walls's Minnesota and Washington that are becoming sanctuary states for gender affirming care. I use a lot of quotations when talking about these things because they're not real. But I mean, they don't mean what they're labeled as, but we are making really good progress. Gays Against Groomers, we've been around for 2 years, and we've assisted in getting quote unquote gender affirming care for minors banned in, I believe, 23 states now. So we're almost halfway there. Actually, I think we are halfway there. We've assisted with 23, but I think in the US it's 25 now states that banned it for children. So, that's just in 2 years. It's kind of like the awareness of this issue is increasing exponentially at this point. We're kind of like, heading over the cliff to where the whole thing just the lid pops off. So, trust me, we get tired of talking about it too. We don't necessarily want to be doing this, right? Like none of us want to, when we were fighting for equal rights, just the right to get married, like we never envisioned this is what our future would hold. We didn't sign up for it. We didn't consent to it.
Yeah. And you guys are going to be, Jaimee, you're going to be speaking at the March for Kids in DC next weekend. Gays Against Groomers is a proud partner of the event, and you guys can get your tickets at marchforkids.com.
Yeah, it's this weekend in DC. It's going to be really great. Tulsi's going to be there. Glenn Beck, Elevated. Yeah, a bunch of people are speaking. It's going to be great. It's kind of like, the March for Life, but how they march for the preborn. We're marching and rallying for the kids that are born already that need a voice too.
Billboard Chris will be there. He's great.
Yeah, he's the best.
He gets a lot of shit, But I think it helps for him being extremely tall.
Yeah, and he's very poised during his encounters. He's a great mirror. He just like he literally holds a billboard. It might as well be a mirror because like that's what he shows the world is how crazy these people are. He's there just totally chill, and they absolutely lose it by a few words on a billboard that say puberty blockers aren't for kids. Like please don't sterilize children, and they lose their friends. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. So people can still get tickets for this. Go to marchforkids.com. Yeah.
Free tickets. August 31st.
Free tickets.
Yep. This Saturday in DC.
All right, my DC people. Get up in there.
Lots of good speakers. I've never met Tulsi before. I hope I get a chance to talk to her because she's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I met her like for like 5 minutes at this Minds event in New York City. It was at the Beacon Theater a couple years ago. And she's so sweet. Like just
yeah.
She doesn't act like a politician or even like a famous person. She's just like a regular gal.
Yeah, she's really cool. I just appreciate women that are outspoken, and tell it like it is against all the forces trying to make them shut up essentially and fall in line. So yeah, I'm excited to meet her.
Yeah, she's a bad bitch. Do we want to, let's see, bring up these other, I know you sent me a couple of other links.
Oh, I don't even remember what I sent now.
Of things to go over. Let's see, was this something of note? This tweet here. This person, Philoplasty Philly Griffin, aka Griffin Sivret, appears to have died on July 23rd, 2024, 2 months after her last TikTok. Cause of death is not listed. Obituary is linked below, along with my reactions to.
Yeah, it's really bad. So this woman started transitioning, I believe, at I want to say 14, and then started with.
This is her video here.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. She had the fake dick thing done, right, and had like multiple follow-up corrective surgeries. And just a few days ago, she ended up passing away. Internet sleuths were looking, and people believe it was from a complication from the surgery that her brain swelled and she had a stroke and died. Also, yeah. So it's very horrible.
Oh my God. All right, let me play this. Hold on.
I'm 3 days post-op from my 5th phalloplasty-related surgery, and this was a urethral repair surgery. I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not really in any pain right now. I'm not on any pain meds right now. Mainly just my mouth is still numb because with the surgery I had, it involved taking a skin graft to heal up the problems I had down there. So I took a skin graft from here to here, down the mouth. So really, the best way to describe it is kind of just like getting a lot of lidocaine at the dentist. So you get a really fat lip, and it feels just like if you chew the inside of your cheek up, it gets a little raw in there. It just feels like that. It's not really painful though. So essentially, I had what was called a urethral diverticulum, which was a pouch that had opened up where my original anatomy was, and it was partially connected to my new urethra. So whenever I would void to pee,
like Frankenstein,
He's got what?
These doctors are playing Frankenstein. I mean, they're just, sorry, not to interrupt. Please continue. It's heartbreaking. What happened?
Some of it would stay in that diverticulum pouch area, and I'd get a lot of backflow and leaking issues and infection issues because of the urine that would stay in that area with the fluid. So that's the main thing that had to be repaired to my surgery. The urological team had the plastics team on standby because they were contemplating needing to use a muscle graft from my leg to be able to fill the diverticulum based on the size of it. That ended up not being the case. They were able to fill it and close the hole with just the skin from the inside of my cheek, so I didn't need a muscle graft used. Scheduled to take about 2 to 4 hours, and ended up taking closer to 5 to 6 hours because the main surgeon kept finding problems internally with me, and he wanted to fix those as soon as possible rather than wait for a later time. So he ended up finding a few stones in my bladder that I would not be able to pass on my own, so he removed those. He found some scar tissue in my bladder and also in part of my urethra, so he removed that too. So yeah, I had a lot done in one procedure. I'm pretty much just chilling right now. I have a SP catheter that has come back. Did not miss you, but it's not terrible. I have a Foley catheter that's capped off, so it's not draining anything. It's just in there to
Wow.
keep the area open while it's healing.
Gee.
I most likely get that removed in a week or two. I also have some padding that I need down underneath to change because of the area that was opened up when they operated on me. So yeah, it's not that bad.
Not
So
that
hopefully in a couple weeks I
Not
will
that
be
bad.
completely tube free and we can just move on to other things.
It's really sad.
It's so sad. I mean, these surgeries, this is happening to people all over the country, all over the Western world right now. Like literally just trying to get a piece of skin attached to their groin area to
Is
make
this the
them
same
feel like they're a man.
person?
Yeah, yeah.
This year, I lost my dear husband, Edgar.
Oh, it's just like a wow. I mean, what a dramatic difference. Like they look so unhealthy in this one.
Right. Yeah. Her health just deteriorated. I mean, she was transitioning, medically transitioning. Like that's the thing. People, these doctors, these professionals, they make it sound like it's a one-time act. Like this is a lifelong thing that you have to
Right.
continue doing. Like not just the medications, like the hormones. You have to take these puberty blockers and you have to take these hormones literally for life if you want to be trans. Does not stop. And then also the surgeries, it's not just in and out, like, okay, you're done. It's like, no, there's multiple complications year after year. And then, other health issues that arise from the surgeries and from the medication. So this thing it goes back to the root cause of all of it is the money involved. I mean, these people are hooking these kids in young to make them patients for life. And it's truly, I mean, big pharma is evil, period. But this is a different kind of evil when you're targeting, I mean, the most innocent and vulnerable people among us. So
How are the doctors that are doing this able to live with themselves? It's I guess
they,
the money
yeah,
helps.
they must sleep. They sleep quite well in their mansions and yachts, but I don't know. I don't know. It's crazy. I can't comprehend it. Like I have very pure intentions with everything. And I'm just like not somebody I don't know how people like that exist. It really is. I mean, maybe millions of millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars changes that, but I couldn't see it happening. I don't think I
It's like
could ever.
you can't even focus on like that last person we were looking at. She can't even focus on like being a dude now. It's like, no, you're just a medical patient. You're just
Yeah,
now dealing with one problem after the next. You can't even enjoy like being the opposite sex. I mean, you're not the opposite
right.
sex.
Do anything. Your
It's
life
like you
is
said, it's like you're just in and out of hospitals, and that's your life.
and this
There's
is this
no
is what they're selling in, packaged in rainbows and unicorns, like this trans joy and protect trans youth and all this. This is the life that they're selling to them. They don't show that though, but that's their life.
yeah. Thank you,
That's their
Rhinoceros.
future.
Props to Jaimee for bringing NF some data, common sense, rationale, and reason. Great show. Thank you, Rhinoceros.
Thank
Yeah, there
you.
was a chat in here earlier. Someone was asking about like what is the trans joy that they speak of? Like what is
Right.
that actually about?
Like I know you look at these pictures of like that or that video that you showed that was going viral of the pretty young lady that transitioned
Mhm.
after breast swap. It's like, is the trans joy in the room with us now? Like I can basically feel it jumping out of the screen. It's like, no, these people. Have you seen that one that this autistic trans person who was like having a mental breakdown on TikTok, the one with the short hair and like I forget their handle.
No. Man, I
Like
really need to get on TikTok. I
I
told
see it
myself I wouldn't,
I
but
see it via X. So I don't know, like I see those ones that they come through on my feed on X, but there's just many such cases, where these people, they start off looking very happy before transitioning. They look very happy and they're very excited to start transitioning. They're like, oh, look, I'm starting my hormones and like showing them taking the shot. And then you see videos from them like, oh, like current. And it's like, oh, they're miserable. Like they look
Mhm.
incredibly unhealthy. They're extremely depressed. They have they're just riddled with mental health issues, physical issues. It's like I
Right.
feel like this isn't what they thought they were signing up for. But once you're in, these things are not reversible. They're not obviously surgeries are not reversible. But
Yeah. You go from having mental health issues to having health issues plus many medical and physical issues. It's
yeah,
just
right. Yeah,
tracks.
this comment says Ellen Page always looks happy, right? Yeah, she is the epitome of trans joy.
Yeah. And when you look at Waltz here making Minnesota a trans refuge, who is he really, going to be buddies with? It's the medical industry. It's big pharma.
Oh yeah.
It's the doctors that are doing these procedures are going to be like, "Oh, we want this guy."
Yeah, these people don't care about kids. They're like they it's like they wrap it up in this package where they're the most caring and they're the best people because they truly care about these children. No, they really don't. Like if they cared, they wouldn't do this. If they cared, they wouldn't be lining their pockets. Like
Mhm.
and they deceive people. They really make people believe otherwise. So it's quite scary. But I think more and more people are waking up every day and truly understanding what's going on here.
Wow. Oh my goodness. But get this book, guys, The Gender Trap. Is this on Amazon or can they only get it at thegendertrap.com?
So we actually are in the process of setting up our Amazon account. It just became
Ooh.
it just went live for actual orders. We had a pre-sale going on for a long time, a few months, but no, you can just currently today get it at thegendertrap.com, but hopefully within a week or two, it will also be on Amazon. So keep an eye out. But yeah, if you want to get it directly from the source, I literally, my wife ships it out from the house. Like we have
Oh,
boxes
do you
here
have a
that
room, a book
we have,
room? Yeah.
yeah, with a bookshelf with our books and also just a giant pallet of stacks of boxes of The Gender Trap. So order some. Really, you'll love it. You'll love it. Thegendertrap.com. And thank you, Chrissy. Oh, did you
Thank you,
want to
Jaimee.
keep going?
I was curious, like, okay, there's a chapter in here I haven't gotten to yet, but it's oh no, it's the appendix, highlights of the gender wars. How much do you think feminism is to blame for this?
It's crazy because the feminists today who were so, it's the same people who were marching. Remember the women's march with the pink hats?
Yes. It seems
I don't
like
know if I can.
yesterday. Mhm.
Right. Remember that? Those people now cannot tell you what a woman is. It is the weirdest, craziest thing that has happened to the brains of these people that they can't even tell you what a woman is anymore. But I think probably a lot. I do know that there are a lot of rad femmes like TERFs out there that TERF for people that don't know is trans exclusionary radical feminist. We have TERFs that are very anti-trans and very against this whole movement and the erasure of female spaces and stuff like
It's a
that.
turf war, if you will.
It is. Yeah, basically, literally. But I think that there are also your everyday feminists who marches in the women's march that has allowed this to happen. And somehow it's crazy. Like the trans rights movement is literally a men's rights movement. I mean, there are many more trans women, many more men who act as who play dress up as women than there are women playing dress up as men, and you never see the women, the trans men taking over, the male locker rooms and the male sports, right? It's just women's spaces that get wiped away. So it's quite interesting to see so many of these feminists remain totally silent, and not just silent, but welcome it, like all these liberal women celebrities cozying up to Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah.
Like it's
And this tweet from
yeah.
Molly London, Australian women's soccer team has 5 trans players, wins grand final. Flying Bats FC, which has 5 biological men on the team, won all 16 of their regular season matches, scoring 65 goals and winning the women's grand final. The men will now be crowned champions of the Women's Premier League division. And just look, you can just see how gigantic
It's literally
this
a men's team. This is
Yep.
like, this drives me absolutely insane. Like saving girls sports. We have a few campaigns. One of them is Save Girls Sports. And it's so important. And it actually gets my blood boiling because these girls train from the time they're able to walk. Their whole lives they put in, their time, sweat, blood, sweat, tears, all their time into becoming the best in their sport, only
Mhm.
to be defeated or replaced or a trophy stolen by a mediocre man that couldn't play in the men's league. It makes me so mad. Oh, it makes
Yeah.
me
How can you as a dude respect yourself to pretend to be a chick just to beat them?
And then they hold the awards like they actually did something. It's like,
Yeah.
what kind of person are you?
It's like, no, you don't get a trophy for having testosterone. Sorry.
Right.
Thank you, Paul Andrews, for becoming a new member. Yeah, my God. What an important book. Gendertrap.com. And this is not a casual beach read. This is a thick boy right here. This is like
It's like
almost
it's
like
like
a college
400
text.
pages. It's 400
Yeah.
pages cover. Beautiful cover. Oh, and I actually wrote the
No
foreword.
pictures, but
No,
other than
I
that,
wrote
it's great.
I did write the foreword, which I'm
Ooh.
proud of. So, yeah.
This is great. This is chock full. This is like everything you could possibly want to know. Gender
You will be
dysphoria, wh-
for
why
battle.
people transition, detransitioning, who's behind it, making peace with your birth body, sexual stereotypes, talking about development, yeah, everything that goes on in the brain during adolescence. So
I'm laughing at one of your commenters. They go, "Oh wait, where'd it go? No pictures? Never mind. I'm not getting it anymore." I mean,
Oh,
same. I wanted to throw a few
thanks,
in there
guys.
now, but just kidding.
No,
But
this is an adult book. No picture. There's plenty of pictures online. Ugh, God, to
right,
gross myself
Jesus.
out. Yeah.
Don't for anybody that's not eating right now, Google phalloplasty. Do me a favor and just Google it. Phalloplasty with a PH. You're welcome. And enjoy. On that note, have a great night.
Phalloplasty. Phalloplasty. Let's see. Da,
Wait,
da, da,
Kristen,
da,
you might
da.
get taken off YouTube, but be careful. I don't want to
Oh
be
no,
the
I'm not bringing it up.
okay.
Oh, ooh, oh, no,
So that
no.
is what that woman who passed away, that is what she got. And explaining that video was her explaining all the complications from it. Well, just one of the, one round of complications.
Oh, it doesn't look good. Even the
No.
best case scenario does not look good.
No.
Don't do it, guys. Stick with the genitals God gave you. That's what I'm gonna say.
It's for the
Could
best.
could that be
Correct.
the case against groomers? Like maybe make a T-shirt that says "Stick with the genitals God gave you."
Maybe. We try and keep it our merch,
Mhm.
PG. But
Fine, then I'm taking that. I'm gonna make a T-shirt that says
take
that.
it. Just give us 10%. No, I'm kidding. It was your idea.
I'm gonna send one to Elon Musk.
I mean,
Oh,
if you send one to me, I will wear it actually. That's a good idea.
ooh, the gears are turning.
Got it.
Thank you, Jaimee.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thank you for coming on. You're the best. I'm really proud of you guys. Now you're publishers. My gosh. So
Or
maybe we'll see more books in your future. Who
we
knows?
actually have, we're planning another one. We're planning actually a children's book.
Oh, I love
It's
that.
gonna actually be very sweet. So teaching children that they're perfect as they are.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna buy it for the bean.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be really good. So we're working on that currently, but yeah, Gender Trap is a killer. It's a great book.
Thank you for coming on, Jaimee. Everyone, follow Jaimee on Twitter at against GRMRS and
That's
buy the Gender Trap.
that's the organization, but follow the organization. I don't care about my personals. But
Oh
thank
my
you,
gosh.
Christy.
So
I had a great time
selfless.
chatting with you.
What a leader. Thank you, Jaimee.
I really don't care about them. But yeah.
Thank
All
you to
right,
everybody in the
girl.
chat. Appreciate the comments and questions. Thank you, Jaimee, for your time. We will catch you guys later. Have a good one. Bye.